Thank you, Madam Speaker, Honourable Prime Minister, the Honourable Leader of Opposition, fellow Cabinet Ministers and Honourable Members of the House. Take this opportunity to outline several development strategies the Ministry of Youth and Sports is embarking on to address the two important areas or portfolio of youth and sports throughout the nation. Madam Speaker, following Cabinet's approval of the non-formal education policy, the Ministry of Youth and Sports is focusing on the mandate of promoting greater coordination in the non-formal education sector, working in close cooperation with the Ministry of Education, Heritage and Arts. Through providing such education in a non-formal way, we collectively seek to improve the chance of success of our youth in finding and creating sustainable employment opportunities in the formal and the non-formal economy. Madam Speaker, the Ministry has 5 non-formal training centres located around Fiji, namely Avitu in Kandavu, Nangere in Savusavu, Konrobe, Nalemba in Lambasa, Madwata, Masau in Singatoka, Nanroana Mosa, and Balelewu in Nasinu. We offer basic agriculture and carpentry training and training in fiberglass boat and small engine repairs, as well as in music. The carpentry training we offer is FNU accredited. The Ministry of Youth and Sports is working with the Fiji Higher Education Commission to ensure that all our training courses are accredited to the benefit of young Fijians. The Ministry, in seeking to improve standards continuously, is using accredited training providers in running accredited training in our communities. One such successful training in carpentry was conducted in Koro in collaboration with the Technical College of Fiji in 2 separate training sessions aiming at helping the residents rebuild their homes. 98 young people who were trained in basic carpentry, trained under the Ministry of Education Technical College staff or the qualified, and I'm pleased to report particular to my honourable colleague, the Minister of Women, that this includes 7 young women as carpenters. Madam Speaker, we also offer mobile skills and empowerment training, where we go to the rural and the maritime communities around Fiji. These are demand-driven and provide young people with the necessary skills to help create sustainable livelihood and promote small or micro entrepreneurial activities locally. The Ministry, through these training opportunities, provide a second chance to young rural Fijians who may have left school early. Madam Speaker, on a similar note, my Ministry is embarking on a mission to promote and educate young Fijians to be knowledgeable and understanding our 2018 Constitution. We are echoing His Excellency the President George Conrad's speech at the first Constitution Day celebration that the Constitution is a living document, a document relevant to every Fijian, a document for every Fijian to read and reread, a document for successive generations to cherish. He also made a special call to young Fijians, and I call on the first of our young people to read the preamble to our Constitution, which sets out the fundamental principles in which the Fijian nation is based. I am proud to say that we are seeking to ensure that we create an effective awareness of our Constitution. I believe that this is essential, and we should all take ownership of creating civic education and pride within our young people. Madam Speaker, the Ministry, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, is promoting the Duke of Edinburgh International Award, or the DEIA. It is a non-competitive, non-formal education program of voluntary activities that challenges individuals, learners, to pursue personal discovery and growth. While our primary targets are students, for the first time this year, the Ministry has introduced this to non-students, beginning with the Pygmies Youth Club in Lautoka. With the grant funding, the project with Pygmies will see 200 new entrants introduced into the Duke of Edinburgh International Award over the 3 years. These new entrants, including youths in correctional institutions, youths with disability, street kids, drug users, sex workers and unemployed youths, and many more disadvantaged youths. This is a testament of the Ministry commitment towards the non-formal education sector and to our youth at risk. Madam Speaker, discussions have been conducted recently with the Fiji Correction Services so we can roll out a empowerment tool like Seed of Success and the DEIA to empower young people within correctional facility around Fiji. The proposal is expected to benefit more than 150 young people and 18 to 25 years of age. We are currently paying their debt to society. We also hope to support 2 young people as students at our music training center in Valilevu under close supervision of not only the correction services but also our trainers. This continues our commitment to second chances. Madam Speaker, our divisional youth officer and administrator are working on the ground to ensuring that young Fijians are updated with the latest in international and national policies, convention, laws, decrees, and basic human rights. Next month, 150 young people of Nanroa and Nabosa province will converge in Semo village for a gender-based violence workshop. It would have been next week if the rain had not intervened, but we have shifted it over to next month. We believe this is a vital ingredient to create good citizenry among our young population. The same workshop is expected to be held to the youths in the Eastern Division in March or April. This training will also focus on violence against children, as suggested by the Honourable Minister for Women and Children on Monday. I'm delighted to report that the Ministry continues to promote, maintain gender equality and inclusion at our training centres. In our activities and programs, we are emphasizing a special focus on this to empower young women to take up leadership roles in the community. Attending training programs, especially for young women, and to support eligible project to funding assistance to help them establish business for themselves. Madam Speaker, the Ministry will soon publish a sexual reproductive health manual to be used by peer educators, youth administrators, and youth as they empower and conduct training to young Fijians. The manual is a product of a long-standing working relationship with the UNFPA and many other stakeholders, including the Ministry of Health. The manual addresses the reproductive health needs to even the young Fijians. The Ministry will again capitalize on the non-formal education approach to ensure that the manual achieves maximum positive impact and positive reproductive health benefits. Madam Speaker, 2 of our youth administrator and a Seed of Success trainer ran a course in Tuvalu in November 2016. In 2015, the Tuvalu Ministers for Youth visited Fiji and to seek our help as part of the South-South Cooperation Agreement between developing island countries. As we speak, 2 young men and a young woman have just arrived from Tuvalu at our youth training center in Nassau, in Singapore, to undergo training in carpentry and organic agriculture. Madam Speaker, I also wish to inform the August House that we are currently reviewing our national sports policy. This exercise will include a new initiative to harness collaboration between government ministries, sports organizations, and other institutions that will drive sports as a tool of healthy living and nation building. However, we cannot wait for the policy review, and with the Fiji Police Force, we are working on a proposed joint project to revive sports and physical activities through the engagement of police posts around Fiji. The Ministry is keen to provide sporting equipment and constantly engage with our national sporting organization to carry out sporting outreach programs in various communities in partnership with the Fiji Police Force, a precursor of our concept of sports against crime. We are also working with the Ministry of Education, Heritage and Arts to strengthen sports development at grassroots level. A pilot project between the Education Ministry and the Fiji Swimming is being planned from now till June this year to learn to swim. A grassroots development on minor sports. I emphasize to NSOs, or the National Sports Organization, in the last National Sports Conference that it is critically important that we use physical education in schools to help our young children develop skills and hand-eye coordination and balance, as well as to help their physical development and therefore to develop a greater appreciation and interest in sporting in general. The Ministry of Youth and Sports hopes that PE will be encouraged in primary school and sports and competition in the secondary schools. We all know the benefit of physical education in physical and mental well-being and in teaching our children about rules, teamwork, winning and losing with humility. These are all good lessons for life. Madam Speaker, these grassroots developments augurs well with other sports development projects the Ministry currently conduct, like the Rural Sporting Facility Program and donation of sports equipment to communities. There is a need to create awareness of minor sports, apart from rugby, volleyball, netball and soccer, to all part of Fiji and to every Fijian. Not only for them to participate and become elite sports people, but so they can stay physically active amidst the increasing but preventable number of cases of non-communicable disease amongst Fijians. Madam Speaker, sports in Fiji has demonstrated over the years its powering in uniting the Fijian people. Whether it's watching our sevens team compete in the Sevens World Series, or our Fijian soccer team, our Fiji netball or volleyball, or cheering our athletes in the Pacific Games. These moments truly show our patriotism for our country. Madam Speaker, that is why the Ministry is embarking on in regards to youth and sports development throughout the nation. Madam Speaker, I hope that with each day that passes, the future looks like a brighter for our youth who have dropped out from the formal education sector and giving them a second chance for their future.
And now call on the